Welcome to Achievement on Achievement Channel, your 100% motivational station, broadcasting live from the School of Eloquence Studio here in Ikoyi, Lagos. This is the platform where we challenge, inspire, and equip men to rise to their full potential at home, in the marketplace, and in the society. I am your host, Martins Oloye. Today's conversation is titled Fathers Matter, the role of men in shaping the next generation. In a time where fatherhood is often neglected or misunderstood, we take a moment to honor responsible men who are present, intentional, and influential. Let me introduce our two distinguished guests today. Mr. John Irabor Evbodaghe, a seasoned chartered accountant, a fellow of ICAN, and a former registrar of the Institute. From banking to business, leadership, and public service, John has shaped institutions and mentored many. Mr. Alabi Babatope Patrick, a political science and international law graduate, is the CEO of Link Heritage Homes. He has transitioned into real estate and with boldness and vision, now empowering others through property and mentorship. Gentlemen, welcome to Achievement. I'll go straight to Mr. John. You've built a family, you've built people, you've mentored people. What does fatherhood means to you?
Fatherhood means a lot to me. It means being present in the life of my children. It means guiding my children, providing them with leadership by examples. It means comforting them in time where they are having some distress. It means showing them love and also disciplining them when I feel that they have gone outside the norm, and trying by discipline is to caution them and then bring them back to the proper fold. This is what fatherhood means to me.
So, in your career, how have you been able to transition? As being a father worked for you at work, how have you been able to take that style of fatherhood, being a father, in your professional lifestyle?
Yeah, it has played a lot of roles for me, because some of the people I've worked with some of them have been like my children's age mates. Some of them were fresh graduates from schools. Some of them have more years of experience and different levels. And the same way I see my children, the same way I look at them, because I have to be present in whatever they are doing. I have to show them love. I have to show them leadership. I have to discipline them sometimes when they are not forthcoming. And more importantly, I have to trust them and sometimes delegate some of the duties. And these are the things that I do for my children, because sometimes I also have to delegate some responsibilities to them so that they grow up knowing that they have responsibility towards the larger family. And I bring that to play when I'm dealing with my staff in my office. And I think it has helped a lot, because as a father that has listening ears to children, some of your staff might have personal issues that they might want to confide in you, and if they see you that you are, approachable, they find it easy to come, and then you are able to guide them out of their difficult situation. So fatherhood what I've done in terms of fatherhood to my children have played a lot of role in guiding my staff too.
I'll take a cue from what you've just explained. Mr. Alabi, as a CEO and a father, how do you balance your ambition and being a good father?
Yeah, thank you, Martins. I try to separate the fatherhood from my profession or whatever I'm doing in the office. Like he has rightly said, being a father is for you to provide for your children. Make sure you are there all the time. Your present in the life of your children is very, very important, is very, very key. In the sense that you'll be able to direct them, tell them what to do at the right time. Then, which is very, very key in the lives of my children, I make sure that they have good friends to move with. You know, at times, children of nowadays, they go carried away with whatever their friends are doing. I make sure that I play a very important role. Then in my office as well, I have a lot of people, like he said, most of them are my children's age. I take them, I talk to them, I mentor them, I let them know. But the most important thing is I'm playing the role of father at home and in my office as well. So
beautiful, well put, as in straight to the point. A follow-up to what you mentioned, because I noticed the way you actually mash out your points. So I would like to ask, what are the values, a few of them, that you've been able to instill both at home and in the office that you think men should look out for?
yeah, the most important thing is legacy. You have to leave a very good legacy for children to be very proud of you. What I do at home, apart from providing for them, paying children's school fees, which is, that should be the role of any good father. You know, I make sure that, like I said, I'm always present, which is the most important thing. I'm always there for them. I make sure, apart from giving them all the necessary things, which I, as a very good disciplinarian, I don't provide everything they want for them, but at least to make sure whatever I can do, I'll be able to, I do it. Then in my office as well, my home should be different from office, which is very, very important, because I have a lot of people working under me there. So what I do mostly is to make sure that I provide the most necessary leadership there. I talk to them like my own children as well, and that's it.
Take away from that speech, leadership. Mr. John, how do we change this narrative? A lot of men are struggling, and the struggle is they think when you just provide, you've done the right thing. That's why I'm taking leadership away from what he's saying. So how do we move away from this narrative that is like, okay, I've given you what I need? How do we advise young men? How do we encourage young men like this is not, how do we have this paradigm shift that not just providing is not just fatherhood? What do we do? What do you think we can do for young men?
Yeah, like we said, provision is not it's not just fatherhood, because once you have money and you can dole out money, your children want their school fees are paid, they can go on holidays, they can buy clothes and things like that. It doesn't end there. They are looking forward to you. You are a role model. The first people the children learn from are the parents, and the father. The children have been taught to look up to the parent, the father especially, as the guiding factor. You model what you want your family to be, so you have a goal. For instance, there are people who say you cannot spoil the family name. Okay, you cannot spoil the family name. And when the children know that the name they carry is so important that whatever they do could affect that family name, they become more resistance to, falling into the temptations of things that, and they cannot learn this except you play that role, or except you are visible and they are seeing you doing it, and there are so many things, like we say, so many information, especially in these days now, that are easily available to the children through their internet connection, their phones, and their colleagues in school. These are not the things that will shape the children. It is you as a father that will bring all these things to bear. Haven't passed through childhood yourself to know that, look, at this stage, this child must be passing through this. And so you'll be able to come there and say, look, I know that at this time, this is what you are looking at. And so be able to guide. If it's a female child, there is a time she gets to puberty age and she begins to be more conscious of her beauty. And then people outside are beginning to tell her she's beautiful and all that. And she naturally she becomes happy, and then it could also be that people want to lure her out. But when you teach her that your beauty is God-given and it is real, but it should not lead you to waywardness, because it will affect your life in these different ways, she becomes more conscious and careful. So the same thing applies to the boys. At the time the boys become, more, they want to experiment more. And if care is not taken, if you are not careful, you find the boy is going to drugs. And so if you are not, you are not watchful, you are not communicating with the child regularly, you might find it, you might discover that too late.
I would like to take an example from what you've said, which I would like you to share. This is achievement. You've just said something without saying it. Fathers are do as I do, not do as I say. You've not noticed it, but you've been able to say that you are not just, you are there, present. So do you have an instance that give you affirmation that, okay, I'm doing the right thing, both at home and at work, that I'm leading these people right? Do you have a good example, maybe feedback from someone, or maintain, like, that, okay, I have not failed in this regard?
Yeah, there are so many instances that, children learn, they say they learn by example. They learn by watching you. That's the first thing. And any child that, small children, when you come across them, the first thing they say, my father said this, my mother said this. So my mother said I should not take gift from a stranger. That's the first thing a child will tell you when a stranger is giving. Later he might take it because of persuasion, and maybe the stranger is able to convince him. But that is the first thing he learns to speak. And so there are so many instances that you find your children are confronted with certain situations and they say, no, my mother will not tolerate this, my father will not accept this. And that has, saved them from a lot of things. And when they come back and share with you, you just have to congratulate them. And that gives you the reassurance and confidence that you are doing what is right by leaving them right. Yes.
Beautiful. I'm sure a lot of our listeners, especially the young dads and the younger ones like me, were picking a lot from it. Mr. Alabi, while you were saying, when you were sharing your office experience, I realized that you've been able to set up blocks that you're using to mold people. In your statement, that's something I was able to draw out. So, have you tried, or how do you see yourself mentoring people beyond the confines of your job? You are an expert, a successful man at that in real estate. So, do you see yourself mentoring people outside the confines of not just real estate, so that we can have greater men?
Well, that's exactly what we are doing here now. Whoever that listens to us now will know that we are trying to pass message to some people. Understand? This is beyond the confines of my office. I believe we are talking to the world as we are seated here. So, I've spoken to so many people apart from my office, even beyond my tribe, I'll be able to let people understand what life is all about. I'll be able to let the people that are very close to me, even the ones that are not very close to me, to know that, look, I spoke to them about crime. That, look, crime does not pay. You understand me? I've let them realize all about what life is all about. So as we are talking here, we are talking to the world as well. Yeah. So I believe. Yeah.
Someone says the best way to live life is setting examples, so that you can have reasons like in our stories and everybody's history that this happened. So I would like to ask you, for reference, do you have a vivid example of a situation, just like I asked him? These examples are what we use to set up stories. Someone might be out there listening and might need that. You mentioned the people you've mentored and you've talked to. Do you have one that is outstanding that we can learn from, that this is how I knew that I am mentoring this person and I need to continue doing this?
Oh, yeah. So maybe I have to refer that to my business. Something happened a few years ago. A bank approached me that I should take loan for my business. I let them realize that I can build this business without taking loan from anyone, which I started from the scratch. I was able to build my business, which is a good example to so many people. My friend learned from me, even the one that took loans. They came back and said, how did you do it? This is what I'll be telling the ones that are following me, that are working for me. So I think that's a very good one for anyone to learn from.
Talking about loans, it's a topic that would not end for days, because we know what the loan sharks are doing to people, not just committing crime. So
what I'm trying to say is,
yes, please.
Yeah, you can do things without you. If you master your business very well, if you know what you are doing with the little resources you have at your disposal, I believe you can build your business without giving yourself any unnecessary.
That's a really good one.
Yeah. Although I would adject here to say that a loan is not a bad thing.
No,
a business, yes, yes. So let them also see it out there and say loan is a bad thing. But
from a young man's perspective, you are saying loan is not a bad thing. Yes. So good loans and bad loans. Yes. You are saying it has worked for you.
A loan that you don't need.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you don't need it, you don't take it. But if you need it, then do it and then honor the terms.
Honor the terms. I think with that, we'll go on a quick break. Honor the terms of your loans. If you don't want to take loan, like Mr. Alabi said also, it can actually work for you. We'll be right back.
For us here at the School of Eloquence, our primary focus is on the art of public speaking, because it's a major problem. And public speaking, we must understand, is the raw art of speaker to audience oral communication.
I got a lot more than I actually expected. I have overcome the few years I used to have.
The more you speak, the better you are at speaking.
School of Eloquence is the place you can be, and there's a turnaround. That change you are expecting, you get it there.
Welcome back. It's been a wonderful session, so far so good, that I'm sure if you allow me, we'll do more, and a lot of our viewers will feel the same. Masculinity is not about strength. It's about being dependable. It's about being responsible. It's about being actively intentional about what you are doing. And they are in stages: young, intermediate, and old. You are young men. I am just younger. So I'll ask you, Mr. John, how and why should senior men, or not younger men, mentor the younger people? In other words, old men, how and why should you mentor the younger generation?
Well, I will just start by saying that there's this common adage that we always say: what an old man sees sitting down, a young man might not see, even if he's on top of a tree. And also, again, the young man can have as many new clothes as possible, but he cannot have as many rags as the old man. What it means is that an older person has more experience because he has passed through several phases of life. Even though life is learning is a continuous thing all through your life, you can't learn it all, you can't know it all. But being an older person, you have passed through some stages that the younger one in that particular time has passed through. It might be a time of his career, a time in his career line. It might be a time when he wants to get married. It might be a time when a younger person is having some challenges with his child. Some of these things you would have passed through and have overcome. So it is very important that you pass on those experiences so that the mistake you made, during your own time, they don't make such mistakes. There are times where you say the man is always right, and as you get older, you find that it is not correct. That the woman can be right, but because of this masculinity you are talking about, no, I will not take this advice from my wife. I must do it my own way. And in some cases, you have lost. You have come out poorer in that decision you made, but because of shame, you wouldn't want to go back. And you see a young man about to make that type of mistake, you laugh and say, "Young man, listen to your wife." So there are a lot of reasons why you can mentor a younger person, but more importantly, because you have passed through those stages and you might have likely experienced some of the things that a younger person is trying to experience for the first time. So
You've proven just now that experience cannot be bought. I'm sure our listeners agree. So, directly drawing it from this wealth of experience you just shared,
yes.
Feminism is a very delicate word that we have right now, and masculinity.
Yes. So
how do we raise emotionally intelligent men that will know when not to shout, when not to speak, when not to, you've said so much, and so how do we balance it that we now have to, as mentors, how do we raise emotional intelligence men so that we can have better families and raise better children?
Well, I'll go back to my father. My father was very particular. He was a military man. He was in the army. So naturally, army people are brought up to suppress their emotions, and you are not supposed to show any sign of weakness. But my father was able to cook. And he was ready to wash plates. At that era where they say men are not supposed to be found in the kitchen, and women should not be found maybe in the sitting room, their places in the kitchen. But my father, again, we were all boys, and he said, "Look, you cannot kill my wife for me because you are making different demands of what you want to eat. So my wife will dictate what we want to eat and announce it. Those who want to go with her, she will go and prepare for them. Those who don't want to go with her, go and find what you want to eat." And so you find most of us, in my family, we cook. So this is against the culture then that men should not be found in the kitchen. So you can and again, it's key right now. In Nigeria now, you still have some of these things still playing out. But look around you, you'll find that even some of the best restaurants are run by men. Even in Nigeria, not to talk of overseas. And some of the challenges that our younger ones are finding, are encountering, especially when they japa. within a short, they are living very well here. Within a short time, you hear that there is divorce. Why? Because over there, the wife is working, the man is working. The man comes back and thinks he's still in Nigeria. He wants the wife to go out to the kitchen and serve him. And the wife says, no. Even if I'm going to cook, then you go to wash the plates. And the man says, no, I can't wash the plates. So the men have to be mentored and tutored that doing some of these chores does not reduce you as a man. The fact that you feel pain and you shed some tears does not reduce you as a man. You understand? So there are so many things men have to be taught about. Emotion, expressing your emotion, does not show sign of weakness. That way, I think we can balance it in those two ways that these younger men should be mentored in some of these things. And then, because over there abroad, you find some men sit at home to do the work, house husbands. Why the women go to work? So they cook, they take the children to school, they bathe the children, they clean the house. And it's not a strange thing.
That's actually,
yes,
that's deep.
Yeah. So now that you have to even share, so from the beginning, men should be your younger ones. We tutor our boys, our children, that it's not a taboo for you to go to the kitchen to prepare food. And I'm glad to say that my son is one of those that can really, cook meals. So,
Mr. Alabi, I can see your body language. You are going to give me a lot. The thing about wealth of experience is you keep drawing and it does not end, because you are giving us chapter by chapter, layer by layer, bit by bit, the blocks that we used in molding who we are. I'm using bricks because you are the guru of real estate. So what blocks, whether it's foundation, whether it is beam, whether it is pillar, whether it is column, as a father and as a business leader, what are the values that you must have as a father and as a business leader that you think men, younger generation must have?
Yeah, thank you, Martins. When we were growing up, our dad taught us something about life, that there is dignity in labor, that you must work to earn your living. You must work to take care of your family. That's really helped me. In our family, I make sure that apart from providing whatever the needed things to be done, I make sure that I work very well. I work very well to lay a good example for my children, which I always tell them all the time that there is dignity in labor. So what I do mostly is this: I have taken that from my dad, that you must work so you can handle your living and you'll be able to provide for whatever you want. So that has really helped me, and I always tell all my workers that you must work. So that's it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Time would never be enough for wonderful words like this. But let's do a legacy round. I'm going to throw the question and I'll have your view. So you go first, you take it, and immediately I'll start from a book that you've read. I'll start from you this time around. So what book have you read that you think younger ones can? You've read many, I can tell. So what particular book changed your mind, your purview about life, and has helped you get here, as in so far so good?
Yeah, there is this book by Professor Shulari, The Rocks That Rose to Meet Me. I read it. It has to do with the deities in his hometown, in Kerekiti, where they have Orolel and I forgot the name now. So I was able to learn that if you, whatever you are doing, you should be able to try to minimize your anger in whatever you are doing. It will bring the best out of you. It will show to the world that you are very, very responsible. I read that book. One of the titles was very, very aggressive, which makes it to, it lost its values. You understand? And the other one that was very, very, that was able to manage the anger was well respected. So that has really taught me that, look, whatever you want to do in this life, you need to take it easy and show courtesy in whatever you are doing.
Mr. John?
Yeah. The book that has is been the most the best book I've ever read is the Bible, and the Bible contains everything. So there's nothing new. Everything is in the Bible, and what the Bible has taught about fatherhood is so much. But what I can say from there is that I will just take one of them to say, teach your child the way to go, so that when he grows, he will not depart from the way of the Lord. That is one of the foundations that you as a father summarizes what you teach your child what to do, so that when you are not there, the child knows what to do. That's the book that has so much influenced me about fatherhood.
I draw another question from what you've explained. So you go first and then. What do you think young fathers should know? That if you are in the room with someone who is about to embark on fatherhood, what do you think you must go with? I start from you.
Well, I would tell that young man that fatherhood is something to be enjoyed. It's not just so much because it is going to be smooth throughout, but there are going to be experiences that you will encounter that will make you more mature, and some of them you would have lived as you are growing up. But the moment you become sensible, when you are 7 years old, when you see your child at 7 years old, you see some display of what you did when you were 7 years old, and you will know how to. And so it increases like that as years go by. So when your child is 20, you will remember when you were 20, and you'll be able to flow with it. So you won't see it as whatever that child is doing at 20 as being strange, because it's most likely you would have passed through that.
Mr. Alabi?
Yeah, a few years ago, I met a man here in Ikoyi. He has been in marriage for over 6 years. And I put a question to him. I asked, sir, we've been in marriage for 60. How have you been managing it? The man was always in white, and he loved white cars. He now asked me the question. He said, what did you notice about me? I said, the only thing I noticed is that you have a good wife and you're always in white. He said to me that, look, it's because I don't change patterns. It's because I don't change anything that is beautiful. He said he has been in this marriage because of the love he has for his wife, and for the fact that he will never change what is very beautiful to him. And he told me further that, look, what is the most important thing in marriage is you people should be able to manage yourself. You people should understand you are coming from different family lives. So, to the younger ones, so there's no need. My only advice to the younger one is to make sure that you try to groom your wife and be submissive in marriage. That's just it.
So this is my final question, and I'll start with you. What's your advice to struggling men out there, struggling fathers, irrespective of their age, their creed, their location, their race? What's your advice to struggling men worldwide?
It's something I've gone through in the past. I've struggled. Like I said when we started this thing, all you need to do, in this life is to be sure of yourself. You have to believe that you can walk and make ends meet. You don't need to go into crime or whatever. All you need to do is to be very sure of yourself and believe that everything will come into your favor. So that's it. Being a struggling father doesn't mean that it's never a crime. It's something you have to go through. So that's it. I've gone through it, and here I am today to the glory of God.
What's your take, sir? Mr. John?
Well, life is a struggle. And the way I see it is any challenge that comes my way is like a stepping stone to a higher ground. So if your goal is to go up, then you have to climb some steps. And some of these steps will come as challenges. You might be struggling, but I would say to anybody that is struggling that you don't give up. When you know that, I'm just looking at this painting now, you can see determination. And you can see the guy trying to climb the mountain. So you don't give up, otherwise you won't get to the peak. It will be difficult, no doubt. But that difficulty is not what will stop you. And you set your own goals for your success and you work towards them. You don't allow a noise from around you to determine where you are going to. So to sum it up, don't give up.
This has been wonderful. To struggling fathers and folks out there, remember Jamie Vardy from Leicester. He didn't start early, so if you're a late boomer, don't be ashamed. Like they said, you can struggle, but don't stay struggling. Jamie Vardy started professional, as in good football, at 27 when people were leaving football. And look at where he is today. So like they've said, the words of wisdom from the wise, you may be struggling today, you are not stopping there. It has been a pleasure having you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Evbodaghe and Mr. Alabi, for your insights and authenticity. To every man watching, whether you're a biological father, a mentor or an uncle, or a role model, you matter. Fatherhood is more than a title. It is a calling and a commitment and a contribution. Let's keep the conversation going. Follow Achievement Channel on Instagram, Facebook, X, Twitter, and YouTube for more inspiring stories and updates. Use the hashtag #WeSeePossibilities and share your own experiences with us. See you next time. And remember, fathers matter.